Hey there, welcome back to my garden here in Western Oregon, Zone 8B, on this absolutely beautiful, beautiful fall day. It is so still outside, so peaceful and quiet. I just had to get out here and do some gardening. I have a little bit of planting left to do this year. I think this is probably, unless I get some bulbs, I have just a couple more rounds of a few things that I want to get into the ground, and then it'll just be time for kind of cleanup, for putting the gardens to bed. But I do, like I said, I still have a few things to plant. Some of those things are some pansies, and we're going to be putting those into the areas that we just recently cleared out some annuals. I took out the bedding plants that I had near our house and in the front lawn, and I just happen to have these pansies on hand, and I thought that they would look really, really pretty in these spots. I also have some violas that we're going to be putting up in the front yard area, and I just think they're going to be a really sweet touch for the garden that will last through winter into spring, actually, here in my zone. So let me show you the areas that we're going to be working on. I think that'll be a pretty straightforward project. The one area that I'm going to be working on specifically, I'll be adding in some soil right here next to me, but other than that, it'll be pretty straightforward, just getting a bunch of beautiful pansies into the ground. First off, here's what we're going to be working with. I do have some that are just the plain white. I have 6 of these that I kind of pieced together from a couple different places that I've stopped by. And then I have 7 of this variety left that we put into the watering trough container up by the goat pasture. So I have 7 of these, and I think these are the ones that we're going to start with. And then I have 18 of these absolutely lovely little violas. This is the Sorbet XP raspberry variety, and when I saw this whole flat at one of our garden centers, I couldn't pass it up. They were $1 a piece. Such a great deal for such sweet little plants. And I think these are going to go up along the front, on the front lawn. So some of these may go right here as well in this area. This is where we took out the Mini Vista Indigo. They did absolutely gorgeous here. I loved them, but I think I'm ready for a pop of white in this spot. So I'm just gonna be putting in some of the pansies right here, the ones, like I said, with the little purple face. I think will look beautiful here. But this area, for some reason, is sloughing off a little bit in the soil. This is just a raised bed, basically. This is not our native soil. This is soil that we've brought into this spot. So I'm just gonna be adding some more, basically, this is planting compost. I'm going to be adding that to this area to raise it up. And like I was saying in the video where I took out the annuals, this is really a spot that I could spend a little bit more time working on. Unfortunately, right behind those hydrangeas, which are looking kind of sad, one of our dogs likes to sleep back there. So he kind of, I don't know what he does, but he messes with the roots, and I think it's just really affecting the hydrangeas. It's making them lean forward kind of weird. And yeah, so this whole area could take a little bit of a revamp, but I'm not ready to do that until I figure out how to keep our dog from going back there, because it would be kind of sad to put more time and effort into it and have him continue to wreck it. So I think for now, the best option is just to plant up some sweet pansies right here in the front. I think that'll just be really nice and cheerful in this spot. And then let's go up here to the front lawn, and I'll show you where else we're going to be working. So right along this rock wall, we took out some Supertunia Mini Vista Whites that also were absolutely gorgeous. They did really well in this spot. I have enjoyed them here. I've replanted them the last 2 years, actually. And I think right here, I'm just going to do the white ones. I probably could definitely use more than, I think, the 7, did I say, or 6 that I have to put along here. So I don't know, I might just pick up a few more, but even just having a little bit of floral element right here, I think it'll be really sweet. And then on this other side is where we're going to be putting, I think, most of the violas. This is a spot that I can see from the front windows of our house, and so it's just a nice one to make sure that I keep looking, you know, having some interest throughout the winter if I can. So I'll probably just be kind of planting them in and through these other plants. There's a euonymus right there. There's some columbine that's growing up that I don't know if that foliage might stay an evergreen for me. So I'll just be kind of tucking them back there behind those and towards the front, just kind of all tucked in throughout here. I do need to cut back this coreopsis so I can kind of plant some in through that area too, and then on over this way. So I don't think that it'll be too, you know, full necessarily of violas, but that's not really my intent. It's kind of just to be putting in, just a little hint of color, some floral elements, like I said, into these areas that will soon be lacking a lot of the things that are currently here. So I think this will be a pretty simple project, just digging some holes and obviously getting that soil in up there in the front. So I think we'll head back up that way and start up there in the garden right next to the driveway. Well, I guess as you saw, I did decide to go ahead and do a little bit more work in this bed than I thought. I figured after I put in some of the compost and planted in the pansies and cut back a little bit of the dead on the barberries here, I figured why not just dig up this hydrangea over here that was tilted so far forward and at least plant it upright. So I did that and then tried to just pack it in as best as I could and brought another bag of compost in the back side of the garden. I didn't take it all the way back because behind there is completely dry. I have some hard chicken wire down back there so that the cats hopefully won't use it as a bathroom. So I didn't want to waste the compost and pull it all the way back there, even though it would have probably looked better. Just kind of spread it around the base of the plants, obviously filled in this area up here, which also allowed me to support up this rock right here in the front. This guy right here was kind of wobbling back, and so tucked the soil underneath that, propped it up, and I think that looks a lot better. Obviously very sweet and tidy with the pansies there. Always kind of a winning fall bedding plant for sure. And I think that this hydrangea looks a lot better being upright. So I don't know. I keep that pot back there that has a Sun King Aurelia in it, and it did grow up beautifully. They like shade, so this was actually a really nice spot for it. It's kind of broken through the bottom and rooted into the soil, so I've just kind of left it there. And also my hope being that if Toby wants to lay in here, maybe he'll just continue to lay right here towards the front. Even though he's kind of decimated the hosta that are right here, I'd rather him do that than go back there and continue to mess with the hydrangeas, I think. Or maybe if I moved that, maybe he wouldn't mess with the hydrangeas and would just sleep further back. I don't know. But anyways, it looks a lot better and the pansies look so sweet. And so I think we're ready to just go forward to the front lawn and get these ones in. Finished, and I got these ones in over here. Those were super easy because that ground was already really soft from having the super petunias in there. Still dug in the holes, you know, obviously, but that went in really easy, and I just love the tidiness of those planted in right there. The white is so striking. And then over here we got all these in. It's amazing how fast 18 little violas go. I thought I would be able to stretch them down this direction further, but I wasn't able to, but that's okay. I think it looks really sweet. They'll just little pops of the purpley pink right in here, and I think they'll bulk up pretty nicely. I don't know how much they'll do that this fall yet, but I think into the spring they'll push out new growth and they'll fill in a little bit. I think they're supposed to get 6 to 8 inches tall and wide. So yeah, just a nice little element there. And then they'll kind of fizzle out, and I won't mind probably just either planting in my summer annuals in between them and then just let what happens happen. We'll see. Sometimes these get powdery mildew in the spring, so I don't know. We'll just see. But for $1 each, they are super sweet, and I'm happy to have them all in the ground. And there is one over here on this side. I just think that looks really cute. I did move the mum back so that I was able to pull these ones forward a little bit more. And I tried to pull them away from the edge a little bit of the grass because I was really mostly thinking about positioning these with my view from the front porch in mind. And if they come too close to the lawn, I wouldn't even be able to see them because the grass grows up a little bit high on the edge and stuff like that. So super sweet, happy to have those in the ground. And before I sign off, I just wanted to show you guys this glorious green Japanese maple. Can you believe that? That is just a straight Acer palmatum. I've talked about this tree before. I love it during the summer because it is just green. It's a very nice, just easy tree to have in the garden, goes with everything. My husband likes it, which is great. But this is the most magnificent this color has ever been on this tree. There's a red Japanese maple back there, and it's amazing. The coloring is so incredibly similar, but I just feel like when I'm underneath this tree, it's just glowing. It's amazing. I don't think, you can see the other red Japanese maple back there as well. I don't think I've ever had these do as well in the fall, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the mild summer we had. A lot of the time when they get to the end of the summer, these have a lot of scald damage on them. The leaves are kind of burnt, so that just prevents them from being able to change color as well as they could potentially. But we had a really pretty mild summer, and therefore there's a lot of leaves left on them that were nice and healthy and able to turn their fall color. And I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So excited for this tree to continue to grow. It should get a considerably larger, and I think that's going to be amazing to see. So glad to have all of these sweet little violas in the ground, and then these pansies over here too. Just nice and tidy, perfect for the fall and into the winter. So that's going to do it for me for today. What a just a sweet, pleasant day out here on this fall afternoon, getting these little bitty plants in, but they just have a little high impact right now, and there's not a ton else flowering. They kind of really stand out, and I'm thankful for that. So thank you for hanging out with me while I got these little pansies and violas into the ground. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are having a fantastic day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.